Hello, thank you so much for purchasing with Medium Emary. Today we are going to give you a tarot card reading. I will also pull out, if anything, a card from uh, an oracle deck I have here called Butterfly, which I love because it's called Butterfly Life Changes. So I feel like butterflies are very significant, especially for you. I don't remember everything I say to people in readings, but I feel like this is a pretty deck to pull out at least one card for you, hun, okay? So I'm going to sage really quickly. I hope all is well. I'm so happy that you reached out to me again. I send lots of love to your family. My most personal clients that I constantly speak with, they're like my family to me, so it means a lot to me, especially since I think I have given readings to a lot of your family members as well, so it's an honor, and thank you so much for your love and support constantly. Alright, so I'm going to sage the area, sage the tarot cards. Alright, let's see here. Alrighty then, okay, so I have your questions. Your name and info will be confidential, and I will only focus on your questions, hon, okay? Let's see here. I'm going to go to the email. It should be here, if anything. Alright. Alright. Alright, so I have your questions here. Let's do a quick little prayer. So I can release any tension, anything that's been on my mind as I tune into your energy, my love. Alright. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth that is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. I ask spirit guides and angels of the person I am focused on to reveal to her now what she needs to know in this present time. I ask spirit guides in mind to help me interpret the information to her in the best of my abilities, and that the information that comes through may come through as accurate, specific, and detailed as possible. I am now open to the spirit world for her, so any information that needs to come through, any healing, guiding messages, I'm open to receive for her. Thank you. Anything of negative vibration or negative energy is not welcomed in this reading, as I ask to receive information from God's higher purpose, God's higher intention. Thank you. Alright, what's very interesting is I usually just tune into your cards, but as I'm tuning into your energy right away, I feel strong grandfather, fatherly energy coming through. I think it's your grandfather. I don't remember what his name was, but I feel like he was very close to you. And he's just coming through to say hi. I don't know exactly why, but I just feel like he wants to make his presence known and just be a part of the reading, just to acknowledge that he's here and to say hello to everyone. I think it's the same grandfather you asked me a while back, but I think I feel like he's here. His presence just here, like hanging out, okay? Alright, hun, so let's go over your first question. Alright, I was recently told I was going to have twins. When I asked if I was going to have a little girl this year or next year, what do you see for me? Alright, so let's do a 10-card Celtic cross spread, and then we will go over the questions, if anything. But you know what? Since there's a lot of questions, I'll just pull out 3 cards for each question, and that will basically answer your questions better. As when I do a 10-card Celtic cross spread, it doesn't really focus on the questions very specifically. So I was recently told that I was going to have twins when I asked if I was going to have a little girl this year or next year. What do you see for me? I don't know who told you that you're going to have twins, but I think, if anything, maybe the medium got confused. I mean, every psychic, every medium works differently. I do see you having a little girl, and this would be your next child, if anything. But I see, if anything, not twins, if anything, you'll have 2 more kids. Now, maybe I'm getting confused and it could be twins, but I don't see you having twins. I see you having 1 child at a time and possibly having another. So you'll have one now and then another one afterwards. So I see you having 2 children. Maybe that's why she got confused and probably said twins, but I see you having 2 more children. I feel definitely there's going to be a girl. Like the next one's going to be a girl, if anything, or the last will be a girl. But you're going to have a girl either way. I see you having a girl, a little girl, and I see you having 2 more kids, if anything. I don't feel twins. I don't feel twins. I'm trying to see here. Let's see. I'll pull out 3 cards to confirm, but I don't feel twins. I mean, that's pretty. That's intense. But yet exciting at the same time, which I understand completely. Let me see here. But definitely a little girl is coming. Very, very much her energy is around you. Even if it's not the next one, it'll be the following one because her energy is around you, hun. Her energy is around you. She's ready, waiting to come in. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, definitely. I feel it's a kind of thing that you can't worry about this, or I feel like it's this thing. It's like you want to know, and this thing, this worry and this distraction and fear that it's going to be all okay, especially if you have when you have another child and all these things, and it's a kind of thing that it's just something that naturally has to flow, naturally has to happen. That's what I'm picking up from these cards as I just pulled them out. It's this worry and anxiety I am feeling towards you with this concept of the babies and what kind of gender and all these things, but yet you're so excited at the same time. So I know those mixed feelings. I could feel those mixed feelings. It's more of like, just let it naturally happen. That's what I feel like Spirit's saying to me now as I pulled out these 3 cards. Just let it naturally happen, you know? I see 2 kids. So maybe, like the medium said, it's twins, but I don't feel, from my feeling psychically, I don't feel twins. I feel like, a child one at a time, but I see you definitely having a little girl. So if it's not this one coming up, it'll be the next one. If anything, I see you having 2 more children. 2 more children, if anything. But I do definitely see a little girl coming. I do see definitely a little girl. And it'll be definitely a surprise. It'll be like, wow, I didn't expect a little girl. I didn't expect to have a little girl. I didn't expect this one would be a little girl. And I feel like she'll be a little girl. Now, there's something about, I don't know which one. I'm picking up this one. So I don't know if any of the other children you had were premature or they were very little. But there's something about this little girl being a premature or being not like super premature. I'm saying she'll just probably be very petite, very little, if anything. There's something about her specifically being petite and little. Okay? I'm not sure about the twins. That I'm not sure. I don't feel anything about that. I would tell you straight out if I felt something about the twins, but I don't feel anything in regards to that. I do feel a little girl, and I do feel like she will be petite or premature. Not like super premature, but petite. If anything, she'll be full term, but she'll be little. She'll be a little size. Okay. But I see definitely, if anything, 2 children. I see you having 2 children. Maybe that's why she got confused saying twins. I don't like saying, oh, psychic's wrong. Maybe she picked up something else. Maybe she did pick it up, but I don't feel that. I don't feel twins. I don't feel twins with that. Let me see here. Hold on, let me see here. Let's go back to your questions. The page went down. Okay. Yeah, to be honest, I don't see you having twins. I see you having a little girl, like you said, and I feel like it'll happen within a year. A year, not 2 years. A year. So I would say a year from now. A year. You'll find out a year from now. So I don't know if you meant this year or next year. No. I feel if the earliest would probably be the end of this year coming into the next year. So 2018. So the end of this year coming into the next year. But I see within a year, if anything. That would be the earliest. The earliest. But I'm picking up a year. So keep that in mind, hon. I'm picking up a year and I see a little girl. And I see her being either she'll be little when she's born at full term or she'll be a premature baby. And also know you'll probably have another one, because I see 2 kids. I see 2 kids. And if anything, if she doesn't come next, she'll be like, the little girl will then come after. But you're definitely having a little girl. I feel a little girl coming through. So keep that in mind, hun, and it's gonna happen within a year. Earliest, I'm sorry, end of this year. But for me, a year. I would say a year. A year, you're gonna have her. You're gonna have the baby. You're gonna have another baby. Okay, hun? I don't feel twins though, so I don't know if she. Again, I can't say the psychic's wrong. Psychics pick up different things, but I don't feel twins, if anything. Okay? Maybe she got confused with the 2 kids that I'm picking up. Alright, so let's go to your next question. That's exciting though, but that girl's definitely, baby girl's in the air. She's very much in the air. What do you see for me? Okay, let's see here. Let's do the 10 Celtic cross spread for that, since you're asking more about your future and everything. Beautiful. I love like energy like this. Oh, card probably flipped over, but this is probably like that. No. Okay. So I am seeing alright. So I am seeing right now for you, I do see either, because I know your energy changes a lot. I feel like you get a lot of anxiety, you get fear, you get depressed, sometimes you get sad, you get happy. It's like this up and down thing, especially what you've been going through. I know you had that health thing, but there's something about definitely where there's been tension. So I don't know if with your partner it's been hard, it's been up and down sometimes, it's just been a little bit hard to communicate or talk. I do feel like either maybe there's been some distance, or it's just been, sometimes it's just stale, or just tension, or you guys try to talk, you know what I mean? Like when it's like little bit of problems, and I feel like it's just temporary, I don't feel like it's always going to be like that. I feel like it comes and goes, and it's just life, life is good and life is bad, life is good and life is bad. I feel like that's what I need to say to you, especially with this whole health issue thing that you've gone through. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with like your karma or anything like that. It's more of just that's life. Sometimes life throws things at you just to let you know how strong you are. And there's always a reason behind everything. So there's a reason behind this, hon, okay? I do see there's just some form of boredom, but like boredom in a bad way. So I would say if you're bored, don't isolate yourself. Don't cocoon yourself to the point where you just stay in your mind and in your head, and you just you know what I mean? Like you just stay very isolated, okay? Find ways to keep yourself busy. Find ways to do things that stimulates your mind. So I know you're doing survival stuff. I know you're doing the things you need to do to be a mom, to provide for your family, or just be there as a family, and like as a mother, a good wife, all these things. But also stimulate yourself in the sense of do things that you love for yourself. Do things to make yourself happy, even if it's the littlest things. Do those little things here and there sometimes for yourself, like even how you're getting a reading with me, it makes you feel good because I'm guiding you and giving you information from spirit. Do those things once in a while if you feel that makes you feel good, or doing spiritual things, meditating. I feel like you need to do those little things, hon. I feel like you need to do those little things more if you can, to fulfill and stimulate yourself, because I feel like sometimes you'll either be on autopilot or on zombie mode, or in that mode where it's just like, okay, I'm living life, next day, next day, next day, next day, and spirit doesn't want you to be like that. Spirit wants you to know life can be wonderful, life is beautiful, and life can be different every day, and you can make things happen, and you can make things exciting and make life exciting, and you can accomplish things, you can do things, I just feel like that's something, I just feel that in the cards with you, hon. I feel that in the cards where You've been thinking a lot. You've been in deep thought a lot. Very much in like, what is my life? What is my purpose in life? I don't understand. I want to know more things. Curious about spirituality. Curious about the world and God and the universe. I feel like Spirit's excited about you learning and wanting to know about these things. If you want to dive more deep into it, meditate, read books. I feel like there's a huge universal calling for you. Like you're just wanting to know. And there's a huge connection with you. I don't know if I told you this before, but there's a huge connection with you. You have a lot of soul connections and past lives where you lived on planets. So if you want to say extraterrestrial, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I'm feeling it. I think I've told you, but I'm repeating it again. You have a huge connection with the star planets, and that's why you love the universe and looking at the sky. You have a huge connection with star beings. So you actually connect with other extraterrestrial star beings. They're multidimensional beings that work on this planet that are, you could say, aliens. But they're good aliens. And I feel like you've lived those lives with them and you were them. Okay, so they communicate with you. From time to time, especially in your dreams. And I feel like you do astral project. Astral projecting is where you go out of body in your dreams and you're traveling a lot. You go to different dimensions. You go to different worlds in your dreams. I feel that a lot with you. So know that there's a huge spiritual awakening happening with you right now. So I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's happening and I feel it. Like I feel like you've been accessing different spiritual planes and different spiritual information and wisdom that I feel like you must embrace now because you're getting a lot of downloads and it's really good for you, hon, okay? In your life, I feel like you're going to be well established. Money-wise, you guys will be good, okay? Especially your husband, very good. But to always not lose that hope, to always have that faith in actually living this physical life. Because I feel like it's been hard. You know, you have a family and you're a physical being. But again, this is all connected to your star lives, the star lives you've lived. It's hard for you to live this physical life. You feel like sometimes you don't belong. You feel like you don't belong here. You feel like, I don't understand. Why do I feel like I'm not home sometimes? Why do I feel so different? Why do I feel all these things? Why do I feel like I'm attracted to different things that are not human? And it has to do with that. It has to do with the fact that you were a star being and you've lived those lives and you connect with those other beings in your dreams and in your astral traveling. So know this because this is coming in very strong. And I have a feeling I've told you this before, but I'm going to tell you again, if anything, okay? I think that's so cool. And it's coming out strongly. That's why I was talking fast. I'm so sorry if I was talking fast because that's like when I feel it very strongly, it just starts coming through. Okay, hon? All right, let me see here. What do you see for my kids' school future? Okay. I feel like school in the future for your sons, I'm not going to say their names, it's going to be good. I feel like it's going to be good. Okay, I feel like definitely one of them is going to be more logical and one of them is going to be more of a dreamer. One of them is going to be more into money making and very logical and very common sense and very intellectual and very smart. I don't know which one it is, but I'm sure you know. One's going to be very logical, one's going to be very smart, very intellectual, and a money maker. So that's going to be a good thing for you guys. Money maker. But definitely there's going to be one that's going to be more of a dreamer and more reserved. So more to himself, more of a deep thinker, more of a deep thinker, more of somebody who's more into themselves, very, but deep and like a philosopher, if anything, like an artist's mind, somebody who's deep and very sensitive, so they will be opposites, definitely. One will be more intellectual, one will be more of a money maker, one will be very good with the survival needs of this world, and the other one will be more of a deeper, more emotional and sensitive and more reserved person, but very philosophical and very sensitive. He'll feel things more. He'll feel energy more compared to the other one. Okay, I'm not sure which is which, but I'm sure you know. So for school, future-wise, that is what I feel. I feel one's going to be more into the intellectual one. He's not going to be so much into the school. He's not going to be so much into like learning, but he's going to be very much into money and something about business. So one of your sons, that is the logical thinker, he's going to be really into money and really into business. One of them's going to get into business and be really, really good at that. And then the other one, there's something about him just being, I don't see him like always having a set goal, but he's going to just be more deep, more emotional, more sensitive, more compassionate, and it's going to be a little bit harder for him to realize what he likes and what direction he wants to take. So I'm not going to say he's going to be a little lost, but he'll be a little bit of just a free spirit, a very just like somebody who's just, they go with the flow more. They go with the flow, okay? But the other one is not going to be like that. He's going to be more business and money making, okay? But the other one is going to be definitely just free flowing, going with the flow, and it'll be slower for him to find what he likes, and he'll take his time more. He'll take his time, okay? Said here, could you see what past life was? He's very sweet, healing, but also since a baby. All right, let me see. This is a complicated question because I think it's too. It's so funny. So based off what you're telling me, I feel like the N will be the deep thinker, the sweet one, the sensitive one, and all these things. Now, what's interesting is the J, your son, the one with the J. Yet he's an empath, but his intuition is very good, very, very good. I feel like he will be the one that's gonna embark on money making and business and be really smart with things, very intellectual and very smart and intuitively, like with common sense, logic, and intuition. He's gonna be really good with that. Your son with the J, and your son with the N is gonna be more of the deeper, philosophical, more healing character, like I said. Now, in regards to your son's situation with the J that you're telling me about his father, I feel like with your son with the J, in my opinion, with the situation with the woman, don't have him so much around. Have your son, don't make it like a really frequent thing having your son visit him with that girl. I would say just to keep boundaries, like you said here, keep boundaries and keep it like normal. Visit him normal to the point where he won't notice, where your son won't notice it so much. So the only way that your son will notice that she's pushing him away is if he's frequently visiting his father and this lady. So I would say to definitely keep some boundaries and don't have, I don't know why, but I always say yes, a child should see their father, but there's something about me feeling like your son shouldn't see him frequently with this lady, especially not always, okay? Because since he's such an empath and he's sensitive, and like I said, his intuition's very strong and he's very logical and like he feels things with his gut, very intense. That can affect him. So I would say just like normal, not like in a bad way, like keep him away. It's more of just have him see him like normal, not so frequent, and keep your boundaries, like have some boundaries and not stay away completely, but just have him see him normally, where it's not to the point where it's like this stuff stays in your son's head and it affects them constantly. Because when a child sees something constantly and they're always dealing with it, obviously they're going to be like, I feel this, I feel that. Now, if the child's not being immune to it so much, he's not going to be so affected by it to that point. So I would say to keep your boundaries and not have him see him so frequently, especially with this woman. I would say just have him see him like normal, but not so close to dates, not so frequent. That's my perspective on a spirit level. That's what I'm feeling. Because the only reason why your son's engaging in this so much is because obviously he's an empath, and because I don't know if he's been seeing him frequently or he's just been really invested in this, like energetically wise. But once he's not so invested in this energetically wise, and not seeing him as frequent and there's boundaries, I feel like your son will be better because it won't, out of might, it's called out of sight, out of mind, and it won't, he'll process other things that's in front of him, because he's a child. So I would say to cap some boundaries and not have him see them so frequently. All right, hon? So I will go to your next question. Your son's very smart, though. Your son with a J, don't worry about him. He's going to be good with that whole situation in general or with life. He's very, very smart. His intuition's very powerful. He has a very strong gut feeling. It's like when he knows something, he just knows, and he doesn't need you to tell him it's wrong. It's like he'll say, no, that is what I feel, and it's the truth. Like he follows his inner truth. Your son, J, which is very, very good. Your son, that's an N. He'll be a little bit different. It'll be hard for him to really connect with his intuition, but with time he will. Okay, let's go to your next question. Is I would love to learn about my past lives. That's so funny. That's so funny. To tell you the truth, I don't remember if I told you anything about Pleiadians. I don't know who told you that. Did I tell you that? Maybe I told you that because I don't remember when I say things. You are definitely a Pleiadian. You are definitely come from a race of Pleiadians. That's why there's a huge connection with that. I was like feeling intensely, and I feel like you've been getting a lot of downloads lately. So I do feel there's something about just writing with you, and there's something about like just gaining knowledge. Pleiadians are very smart and very intellectual, and they receive things like a computer, and they're just very smart. So I just feel like, yes, as a light worker, yes, I feel like you're a light worker that is supposed to bring knowledge to people, awareness. That's what I feel. You're a light worker that has to bring knowledge and awareness to people about consciousness, about the universe, about source, about like source, which is God, about just how we are more spiritual beings than physical beings. So there's something I see you. I think I told you this last time. I sometimes repeat things over and over because it's something that is just, it will happen, and it's just in your path, and if it hasn't happened now, it means it's gonna happen. Something about writing a book about awareness about consciousness, the universe, or even about Pleiadians. Pleiadians, if you search them up, it was a race that's just, Jesus was a Pleiadian, so it's a race that just wants to help the planet, nature, human beings, and treating the planet well. So my advice to you to gain more connection with them is, again, like I said, channeling, doing automatic writing, which is, having a journal and just getting into a meditative state where you just literally start writing and you're not logical about it. You just write what they're telling you and what you're feeling with them. Obviously, always pray before and pray after to protect yourself. But no, this is a great way to access wisdom and information, because I feel like what they want with you is just to give you information and wisdom about the universe, about how they work, about their family, about all these things, because they are your soul family. So you do communicate with them in your dreams, and you astral travel with them, which is what I said earlier, I think. And that's, you meet up with them all the time. If you don't remember, they do meet up with you. So sometimes you can't remember. If you want to remember, you ask your guides, hey, help me remember these dreams that I have with you, Pleiadians. Or you can even call to the Pleiadian and say, please help me remember my dreams. So I would say to write and do automatic writing with the Pleiadians. That will be a great way to gain wisdom, because I feel like your goal right now, your goal with them, like what you're supposed to do with them, is just gain wisdom and give wisdom and awareness to people. There's something about you writing a book about this, or writing a book about awareness. And you are a light worker. You are a light worker that's supposed to like be like a spiritual advisor, in the sense of giving wisdom about the universe, like a coach, like giving like awareness. There's something about that. And I'm just going to leave you with that, because I feel like that's very strongly coming through for you. And it's so funny, I was mentioning it, and now I just read your question. So there's your confirmation, hun. I just feel like now lately you've been getting a lot of downloads. So there's like a huge spiritual shift going on with you. I'm intuitive empath. How can I use this to help people around me, or am I not supposed to yet because I'm still need to healing and shifting first? Yes, you are definitely intuitive, and you're definitely an empath. That's why you connect with your your son that's an N very, very much, and your son that's a J too, because he's an empath. I just feel a huge connection with you with your son that's an N too. Like there's a huge soul connection with him. I feel like you guys have lived past lives together. Your son that's an N and you. No, I feel like you can start working on helping people. And I think this question is also answered for the same question before. I feel like you've been healing well, and I feel like you've been doing good. I feel like if anything, you can already start helping people and giving healings to people in the sense of, I feel like you should start writing, and I feel like you should start doing automatic writing and gaining information from the Pleiadians. Oh, there's just something about you writing a book and giving people information. I think that's truly what your goal is. And being like a spiritual coach, there's something about that, like being like a spiritual coach, like helping people, like with healing, what is it called when you go through like it's not progression, but like something where you heal somebody's traumas and you help them, but you help them on a spiritual aspect. I think that's something that you can do. There's something with that. So that's something I'm just telling you that I'm feeling. But a way for you to start with your intuitive abilities and your sensitive energy is to do this automatic writing and connect more with your Pleiadians. And do the automatic writing, get connected in your dreams more. There's something about writing a book. That's all I'm going to say. And you could definitely use oracle cards. I know there's oracle cards you can use. I don't know which ones, but there has to be there has to be oracle cards. Oh, you should use Keepers of the Light. There's a book called, there's a deck. I have it here. Oh God, sorry. There's this deck called Keepers of the Light, and it works with ascended masters and different kind of beings. But I feel like it's very cool, and you can use this as a way to start using oracle cards just for fun, but also just to gain more practice with your intuitive abilities. But I feel like you have that spiritual coach, spiritual teacher energy to you, and giving awareness to people and writing that book, like I said. So that's what I feel like that. That's what I feel with that, and I feel like you've been healing better. I really do, and I feel like there's no need to not uh, begin helping people. You can begin right now if you want to. I would say, I feel like that whole process of helping people with your intuitive gifts and your empath abilities and the whole connection with your Pleiadians, I feel like that's actually healing you while you're healing them. So in the end, you're actually healing yourself, but you're also healing other people while you're doing it. So actually, I feel like that's a great idea. You should do it. It's going to heal you at the same time while healing other people. So there's no need to wait with that. Okay, hun? All right, so for your next question, so I think with the guides thing, I feel like I answered that based off the cards that I got here as well. Seems like similar questions that you asked me, which was saying, I feel like your guides are saying definitely to do the things you love, and I don't even remember what I said because it was like I was going through this, like I was just receiving stuff and I was just saying it to you. To do the things you love and to know that you could still do these little things and make yourself happy and feel fulfilled even in this human life. Okay, that's what I feel like what they're saying. I feel like you could still do things that could fulfill you even in this human life, even though I know you don't feel like you belong here, but you still can find ways to make yourself happy. Definitely. And I feel like making yourself happy is going to the things that is home to you, like having that connection with the Pleiadians and helping people and doing the book I said, all those things. I feel like that will definitely spiritually, mentally, and emotionally fulfill you on a beautiful level. All right, next question. A few days before eclipse, I felt very vulnerable, crying and trying to communicate to people to acknowledge hurt they had caused me. Oh, very typical for an eclipse because it's very, very powerful. Or thinking of old relations that were toxic. I thought I was reaching out to others to help me healing process. Then the day before it and the day I felt dizzy, irritable, couldn't sleep, and I'm still feeling quickly mentally irritable. Does it have something to do with the eclipse or anything other astrology galactic thing going on, or is it? All right, so that's your last question. Hun, with the eclipse, it's like a huge shift. So yes, there's a huge that is the biggest that there's a huge reason to why you're acting like that. Eclipse impacted everyone, and there's definitely also Mercury retrograde happening. Mercury retrograde is like another astrological shift where it makes everything go crazy, and like it just, you feel all out of balance based off the energy and the planets shifting. So definitely it is because of that. It's because of the eclipse and the Mercury retrograde that we're going through. I think it's ending, I'm not sure, or we just entered it. I'm not sure. You could search that up. But definitely that. And remember, girl, you're like a star person. So you have a huge, like, you react to like energy based off the planets. So the eclipse was something huge galactically that was going on, that was affecting you, and you were feeling everything to a higher volume. So yes, I like, even before I did your reading, I started having like, I was having like an anxiety attack a little bit, and I don't feel like it had anything to do with my life. For me, when I have little anxiety and panic attacks, I could tell the difference when it's something that I'm scared about my personal life. I could tell when it's a panic attack or anxiety attack about my personal life than it is about something spiritual. And what I was going through before I did your reading, for me, it felt like something spiritual. And I was just going through it, and it has to do with some spirit trying to give me information, and I'm rejecting it. That can be another thing. When you're having anxiety attacks and panic attacks sometimes and it doesn't make sense, it can be that your Pleiadians or spirits or guides are trying to give you information, downloads, and you're like rejecting it because you're still like you're not like in that meditative state to receive it, and you're just kind of rejecting it, you know? So I would say definitely, to that last question you asked, it is in regards to the eclipse. And I have to tell you too, whenever you want to do like intentional prayers, intentional connections, or magic, candle magic, the eclipse and lunar cycles are the best time to do it. I'm about to do a little candle magic tonight for my boyfriend, and I hope it's for him to find a job. We've been trying to help him find a job, and I'm going to use gold for manifesting and white for releasing for me on a spiritual level, because I've had a lot of anxiety today. And it's just because I'm an empath and I'm sensitive. So these are things you could do for yourself to make yourself feel good. You could pray. I pray to Ganesha. Ganesha is a deity, kind of like a little bit of a god, but like more of like a spiritual being that I pray to. Ganesha, it's that elephant. It looks like the elephant from India. So there's just different things you could connect to. And for you, you could connect to the Pleiadians. So maybe you can get crystals, things that are very connected to Pleiadians. Like, I know Moldavite. I don't know if you've heard of Moldavite. They're a little bit expensive, but they're like these asteroid crystals that came from an asteroid that people who are connected to galactic things, they use it to communicate with other galactic beings. So you can use Moldavite. You can use different crystals to connect with Pleiadians, like turquoise. I feel like turquoise can connect with them. Things like that. So it's just you finding different ways to connect to your spirit team, your support team. And I feel like that will help you a lot, especially on lunar cycles, on intense moments like that. Okay, hun? You need to do that automatic writing, because it's like information you'll be gaining from the Pleiadians, and just knowledge about the universe and even life itself, because Pleiadians are learning about the human life and learning about how humans work. That's why you feel so, why do I belong? Like, I don't belong here. I feel weird here. And it's because Pleiadians don't understand the human life. They want to get to know the human life. So that's why you came in, if anything. You came in to experience what it's like to be a human. You came in what it's like to feel emotions. You came in to see what it's like to feel. Because Pleiadians don't really feel. They're very intellectual. They feel more of the nature and the universe. They don't understand emotions, because human emotions are very complicated. They don't understand why we kill each other. That's another thing Pleiadians don't understand, why we kill each other and why we hurt each other when we're the same race, if that makes any sense. So I'm sorry if this video was very long. I had to give you that information. I'm going to leave you with that, hun. I very much hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you connect more with your Pleiadians and that galactic family that you have. Lots of love from the heaven above. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. Let me know your thoughts, hon. Bye now.